help coming. You know, they get a run. Here comes those tires. Blaney, Hocevar to the outside. Big run's coming into turn 3. Here we go.
And there you go. It's going to be whoever gets there first with that push on the outside. And
Hocevar to the
Caution.
Caution is out. Crashing into turn number 3.
Who was in the lead? Hocevar was right there between Larson, Bell, Hocevar. Which one is it, guys?
What's up, guys? Jordan Patton here with another episode of Ripping Fences, and today we're going to be talking about the topic that is very much in the spotlight, and that is the throwing the caution flag on the last lap coming to the checker flag. So, before we get into that, I just want to say something real quick. I did make a reaction video Sunday night after the race. However, I did not watch the video after I posted it. I watched it after I made it, but I didn't watch it after I edited it, which is not a good idea. I use iPhone Movie Maker at the moment, so I was trying to make an outro. I ended up having music all throughout. You couldn't hear me talk, and it was very cheesy, so I just took it down, didn't repost it, because by that time I realized that I kind of had different opinions anyways, and my thoughts had changed, so there's that clarifying. So that's why there was no reaction video. I need to be more composed with those. I was pretty composed as far as making the video, but I need to wait a little bit to kind of collect my thoughts before I post stuff and at least watch the video. I didn't say anything crazy or wild. I realized my opinions change. Anyways, now we got that out of the way, let's talk about the subject at hand. And I know it's late, and I know every other NASCAR channel has already talked about it, and I'm probably the last one you'll go to. So if you are watching this, thank you for your support. It means a lot. Here we go. So the topic of discussion is NASCAR taking these type of finishes away. You know, moments like this. Moments where you get a 3-pack of die-cast made to commemorate that moment. So I understand now that NASCAR had told the drivers that they would be throwing the caution on the last lap if there was a wreck. I did not know that when I initially made my thoughts and opinions, but I still have strong thoughts and opinions. So I understand NASCAR's safety aspect. What I don't understand is 100% how throwing a caution prevents anything worse, because at this point, my argument is when you're wrecking on the backstretch or in turn 4, what is throwing a caution going to do? Because at that point, you're either in the wreck or you're not. And I know throwing a caution flag, they do that regardless. But on the last lap, I feel like it should be an exception. So I'm not the first one with this idea. Matter of fact, I didn't get this idea. I got it from a buddy on my Instagram. And I believe it would be the solution, and that is to have sanctioned cautions or section cautions on the last lap only, obviously. Especially on, you know, certain ovals. What this would do is basically they would throw a caution at a section of the track where the accident is happening, and if you're in front of the wreck, you're good. You can race. And it won't always be, you know, the greatest thing ever, because we're not going to have finishes like that every time. But it would definitely prevent a lot of pissed off fans. And NASCAR, if NASCAR wants to be so focused on safety, fine. That's great. So yeah, I think that would be the best solution to that, to help everybody out. Now, I don't know. I know Texas has lights around their fence where they could just throw, you know, a light at that section of caution. NASCAR could do it. It could be done. It would take a little bit of time to implement, but you're costing us great finishes. And if you're going to be so hell-bent on throwing a caution flag coming to the line, then that should be the way to do that. And I know a lot of people are probably like, well, dude, they got to throw cautions. I know that. And I know a lot of the problem has been us bitching about consistency. I have been known to do that as well. Uh, I guess my problem is less consistency and more just like what's best for the sport. Um, Obviously, we don't need to be racing back to the line like we did back in the early 2000s and before. That's dangerous. So I'm not saying that. I don't want to sacrifice good finishes because somebody's wrecking for 10th. And that also brings me to my next part of the video is the problem with the drivers. And again, this is a topic that I know has been covered by many other channels, but I want to throw my hat in the ring. So, first of all, we have guys like Carson Hocevar, who he didn't cause a wreck yet in that moment. And I like Carson Hocevar. I like his mind. I know he doesn't want to be buddies. He wants to win. I like that. I like putting it all out there. However, there is a line between putting it out on the line and being stupid and possibly getting someone hurt, or worse. And the way he was driving out there was scary, and it was fun to watch. I will say it is very fun to watch, but when it comes down to the pure part of motorsports, it's not racing. And I know a lot of people who may be paying attention to me were like, well, you were all happy with Austin Dillon winning at Richmond. Yes, I was, because I am still under the opinion that was not running through people. I still think that he got into Logano because he was going for the win. It's short track. And then he didn't see the 11. But all the spotter talk and everything didn't help him out. But, we're not going to get into that. It had happened. It's a year ago. People aren't going to change their opinions because Austin Dillon is not a very well-liked driver. So, I get that. That's not the topic of the video. But yeah, Carson Hocevar, he was about to make it a great finish. He was, he might have won. I don't know. There might have been more carnage. I don't know. But his mentality is, I like where his headspace is, but like I said, and like many people would say, you can do that without being stupid. And we know that because we have seen drivers do it in the past. And you don't have to use your car as a weapon just to get up front. And of course, as it's been said before, this system rewards people driving like asshats to get wins, because wins mean more than ever, and that's how it is. NASCAR created this monster, and you got drivers who are going up through the ranks without any real appreciation of equipment or the money that is going in behind that and the hours, which I don't know much about Carson Hocevar's lineage. I don't know if he was a rich kid that got a ride. That's usually what it's like here lately, and has been for the past 15 years or so. But yeah, I get his mentality. I like how he says, well, we're not in a boys band. We're all here to be friends. Yeah, it's fine, but we're also not out here to kill each other. So that's my take on Hocevar. And my next take is on a driver that I am a fan of. And I hate to say this, but Josh Berry, you don't need to be wrecking for 10th place, buddy. And I know that could have been avoided. You guys are professional stock car drivers. You don't need to put your ass on the line for 10th position on the last lap. You just don't need to. That was a whole chain reaction wreck that could have been avoided if he could have calmed down. And that's just not Josh Berry. That's just a lot of these drivers. They're wrecking for 10th, the 15th, the 20th. Why? I mean, I'm not saying don't race, but at this point, are you really going to put your checkers and wreckers because you want 20th and not 21st? It's just, I don't know, man. These drivers, it's a different era. How, I got in the sport at what I think is the golden age of NASCAR. You had the classiest drivers. You didn't see drivers just use each other up all the time. And if somebody did bump you or turn you, I mean, you had a red X on your back. I mean, Robbie Gordon won his first race in 2001 by dumping Jeff Gordon. And, I mean, you would have thought it was heresy. I mean, nowadays we're like, that's not bad. But back then that was like, oh, he dumped him. So, yeah, it's just a sign of the times, and it's really annoying. It goes back to just how the system it is. You have to have money. You have to come for money to get in this position. Some drivers are very good at respecting it. You got two drivers that I believe that respect the system very well, that were obviously brought into it through their name, Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney. Except for a few times, mainly Charlotte of 2023, Chase Elliott is pretty respectable to other drivers when he needs to be, but he can be a little bit more aggressive. Ryan Blaney, though, reminds me a lot more of a Mark Martin type driver. He really does a good job of racing people clean, and I don't like seeing him get screwed over, because he does. I don't think I've ever seen him wreck anybody. I could be wrong, but I don't think I've ever seen Ryan Blaney wreck anybody or cause a big accident. So I understand why Ryan Blaney was really pissed with Hocevar. And Chastain's kind of funny, because Chastain is not a few years ago was driving the exact same way as Hocevar, but that would probably be good for him to know, to pass down some knowledge to Carson. So I don't really hate Carson Hocevar. I was hoping he would win. I was pulling for him in that whole situation. So I just wish these drivers, there's no good cornbread fed working their way up through the ranks, having to build their cars in granddaddy's garage anymore. It's not like that, and it probably never will be again. So we just kind of have to take that reality and just hope that these drivers can learn how to respect each other once they're more veterans, because there's a lot of young guys in there. So there's that topic off the list. Other than that, my overall thoughts of the race Sunday were great. It was a great race. I enjoyed watching it. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. I really do like the new Atlanta package. It reminded me of old plate racing. I know it's not a plate track anymore, but yeah, just hate to see great finishes. Great finishes ruined by stupidity, and I don't think that's going to change. So I think NASCAR needs to make a little adjustment to save their finishes, because there was a video that I watched, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. I think it's on TikTok, of NASCAR's greatest finishes if they threw the caution flag. And it was more satire than everything, except for maybe like the 2007 Daytona 500, which would have 100% been Martin winning that race. But yeah, it's sad, especially just I don't know whose spotter it was, but you just hear him over the radio, caution, caution. So anyways, with that, I'm gonna wrap this up. Hope you guys have a great day or night, wherever you may be, and we will see you on the next one. Peace out, guys.